So we've had a few questions recently from businesses that do their own bookkeeping as to how to make the process more efficient when it comes to the bank reconciliation. So what we're just going to go through quickly now is how to create bank rules inside Xero. So let's share screen and I'll show you how it's done. So when you log into Xero for the first time, you're going to land on the Xero dashboard. In order to reconcile the transactions or allocate transactions to accounts that have come in through the bank feeds overnight, we click on Reconcile Accounts. Now, you should only ever use bank rules for transactions that don't have a supporting document attached. So you're not going to use bank rules for allocating sales against invoices. You're not going to be using bank rules for allocating purchases against supplier invoices, because a little bit like you see in these top two lines here, you really want Xero to match them, to allocate them to the transaction. We use bank rules for transactions that don't have any supporting document attached to it. And so look, the perfect example that we've got here is a bank fee. So you're not going to receive from NAB an invoice every time they charge you a fee, but it would be a really good idea to create a bank rule for it so that every time a bank fee takes place, we're certain that it's got the right GST coding, it's coded to the right account in the chart of accounts. Because I think one of the best things you can do as a bookkeeper to make the accountant's job easy and also to make the business owner confident on what's sitting in what accounts in their financial statements is consistency. And bank rules are an absolute gem for making the transaction allocation consistent. So to set up a bank rule, which basically means every time a certain set of conditions is met, Xero is going to code that transaction in a particular way. We just go to Options, click on Create Bank Rule, and let's walk through this screen together. At the top, we see a bunch of tabs. It could be a spend money rule, which basically are rules that are associated with money going out of your account. We've got receive money rules. Look, sometimes some businesses use this for like interest or dividend payments that are coming into their bank account. There's also the transfer money rule, and the transfer money rule is super helpful if you're transferring funds between your own business bank accounts and you've got more than two accounts. If you've only got two accounts, it's obvious where they're going between, but for businesses that might have a savings account set up for GST, a separate high interest savings account, or for whatever reason, we've got plenty of businesses that we work with that have more than two bank accounts, the transfer money rule is actually pretty handy to make sure you allocate that transfer to the right account. So anyway, back to this example where we're looking at the NAB bank fee. So what we need to do is set up the rules. And what we like to do is to make sure that the rules are a big enough catch-all rule. So we actually simplify their suggestions most of the times when we're setting it up ourselves. So we want the rule to literally be as simple as, if the payee equals, we're just going to say contains, just gives a bit more flexibility around the rule, NAB, then we're going to apply the following. We're in fact going to remove the description out of it because there's no other transactions coming in that contain NAB in it. And look, we still do get the chance to reallocate the transaction if the rule's not appropriate when it comes in. Set the contact. The contact is going to be a new or existing contact. Going to be NAB, which we've got sitting inside there already. If, for example, we wanted to split it between two separate line items, we could split it between lines on how we want the total to be allocated there. Maybe there's a fixed amount that goes to one, but for bank fees, it's not really appropriate. Set the reference, just leave that as the default. We can choose which bank account if we've got multiple accounts. So look, for bank fees, let's apply it to all bank accounts so that we don't have to have multiple rules across multiple accounts. This one, we're just going to call the NAB bank fee. So what's left in the description is the bank fees account, GST-free expenses, and you can see here we're allocating 100% of the transaction to that bank fee account and GST-free. So every time it runs, we can be confident that it's coded to the correct account and with correct GST. And that's how you create a bank rule.